Welcome back to the channel. My name is T Cypher, and today we're going to continue the build of the Nighthawk / Tomahawk that's available through CNC 3D. Like I've said before, I do have an affiliate link in the description below. If you use that to buy anything from CNC 3D, I might get some pennies. Okay, today what we're going to look at is aligning the Y rail, and this is going to be the data I'm going to operate everything else out. Okay, so what I've done, I've stripped things down. I've got myself to the point where I'm ready to start showing you my intentions. Okay, you will notice in the middle I have a surface plate, grade 00, a recent birthday present basically from my girlfriend. And what I've done is I've strapped on some extra feet onto the legs onto the table to try and ensure that the weight supported. That thing weighs 25 kilograms, which is quite a heavy weight. It's unfortunately 400 by 250 in dimensions, which, considering the rails are 115 millimeters, 1.5 meters long, that's not a lot of it. It's only a third of it roughly, if not less, well, actually less than a third. But I'm hoping I've come up with some techniques which will allow me to get everything aligned and as straight as possible. Ideally you'd be doing this on a massive surface plate, but to put it bluntly, although I have one, I could probably access one at work. Even those at work are probably not as big as that, and it would be quite awkward moving these large rails into the office. So probably not going to be able to do that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my approach, and will it work? I have no idea. I'll be blunt on that. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully give me nice straight rails off a nice reference side. But there's two chances, so either work or it won't work. So let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I've done, I've taken off the T-nuts that were previously on the rail when I did my dry installation, and replaced it with some roll-in nuts. So let's see if I can get it to focus. But basically, yeah, you can just about see it now. The reason I've done that is because I'm not trusting these T-nuts to rotate and lock in along such a long axis, and they probably were, in all honesty, but I'd rather have the comfort of knowing that these, specifically these rails, are well clamped. Now, in theory, just looking at it, they might not have as much surface contact, but then you realise that with the shape of this extrusion, there's actually there's not actually that much land on the inside, and these here should sit nicely. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rail, which I've already mounted all these on, and slide it into the designated groove on the first y-axis. So this is the left y-axis. So I will now do that. Okay, so I've already decided which specific slots the rail's going to go in. Well, this isn't probably going to take a few minutes because it's slightly fiddly. Hopefully once I've got a decent start, I'm just going to reposition everything. Now the awkward thing is this is maybe not as quick as to get on as the T-nuts were. I know for a fact they weren't. Now I could have pre-positioned these and placed the rail and screwed it in, but again, I'm not too convinced that was safe. Let's see, saved any time. I did that with the Queen Bee previously, but hopefully once I get the started, subsequent ones should be a little easier to get on. Now I'm wearing not the best of gloves for this really, but there's so much grease on these that oil, I don't want to be churning it too much. Typical style, feels like that one's a little tight, so back off a little bit. Just backing these off a little bit, because just to give them a little more play while I'm sliding it in. I'm hoping I don't take them off totally. Failed at the first hurdle. I did say this wasn't going to be easy, didn't I? Well, I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me fight this, so I'll pause here and hopefully you get back to it but all assembled. Okay, so that's that slid in now. Easier said than done for sure, but once it got going it was a little easier. So what I'm going to do now is just roughly space it so that the rail is equally placed either side. So about 1.5 millimeters there. Let's see. This doesn't need to be accurate really. I'd rather have it so that it's slightly evenly spaced. So just a little tap that way and that'll be it. That'll do, it's about even there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just nipping up the centre line bolt. So, what's this bolt? Let's take the camera down there. And I've marked the centre line already on the rail. I don't know if you can see that, can we? Yeah, you can just see the mark at the centre line there. So there's 25 bolts on either side, so in theory, if I just nip this one here up and help if I use my Allen key, I'm literally just going to do that, and I'm going to just do the same at either end. Okay. Now the magic bit. I say magic in the hope for it's going to be magic. Okay, so let's bring this back here. See what I'm up to. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to reference off this face. I say reference, I don't trust it to be flat. I'll be blunt, I don't. It's probably slightly bowed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this on the surface block so it's equally balanced, so that I've got like a centre point which shouldn't in theory be flat. Now these rails are heavy as anything. Now the extrusion alone is probably the best part of 15 kilo, and then it's probably another 5 kilo on top for the rails. Okay. Now, these rails are about 40mm base spacing. And then the first one's 20mm off the top here. So, given that the rail is 23mm wide, let's double check that, because if it is, I've done some slight miscalculations. It's 23mm wide, so yep, okay, that's fine actually. Now that means that the top edge of here should be 11.5mm off this surface plate. Now, seems nice and solid, so there's no rock there, which is good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make sure that that rail is roughly where it should be. So I'm going to just use the vernier. I have got a much better tool for this in a minute. I just want to see if I'm anywhere near. that's 110, that should be 111.35. So that's not too surprising. No doubt the rail has dropped a little bit in the slot. So I should be able to lift it a bit. As you can see, there is definitely a lift going on there. So I'm just going to lift it up and lift it up and lift it up a bit. Okay. So, right. Oh, yep. Now this big bugger comes into play. So let me see if I can remember how to use something like this. So I want it to be 111.5. Okay. So it's presently. Okay, so that should be 111. Let me just check my. I'm up to 0.5. Should be 111.5 there. Right, this. I'm just going to use my vernier. I'm not that great with mechanical verniers, I will be honest. I'm used to digital. So I'm going to set this to 111.5 and just make sure we're talking the same sort of language. Yeah, it's near enough identical, which is good. So that's set to 111.5. So if I bring the rail up to this, we should be good. Let's say that in the loosest form. What I'm trying to do is get the centre point to be the right height, because once the centre point's the right height, the rest of it should be a matter of just playing with the outer. So it looks like we're about 0.5 low at the moment. Looks like it's set on it. I'm just going to lift it with a little bit more strength. Okay, so that's out of the way. I'm sure you probably just see my back there, but basically I now know that this is pretty much bang on centre. Okay, next. I need to get a bit of tooling out I put together. Okay, so this, I'll come over here. Basically what I've done is I've created this aligning jig, I'm going to call it. Now there's many recommended ways of how to align it, and if you look at the Highwind manual it'll go through them. To put it bluntly, I don't have those capabilities, I don't have that machinery to do it like that. So what I've done is, using the surface block, I've made sure that all these are perfectly flush with each other, or parallel, or flat even. And the idea being that the rail will hold, this will hold the rail straight. Will it work? I do not know. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is slide it on and see what happens. So I think I'll do it from this end. Okay, and there's going to be bits that fall off. I've found with these, it's best to always keep the centre piece in as long as you can, because it just stops the wheels coming out, and it doesn't take much of an excuse for these wheels to come out from past experience. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to use a gauge, and which one am I going to use? I think I'm going to use this gauge here. I'm going to try and get it so that I can see how flat everything is here. I'm going to do an issue with this one. This is an Imperial that I picked up on the cheap. Okay, so that's still there. So there. So that, yeah, needs to come. Okay, so the idea being, if I get this right, I should be able to run along this entire length, the gauge reading 0. It's probably not going to be perfect, but okay, so that's at a bit. So what we need to do, come a bit, go down a bit, let's go down a little bit there. Okay, let's reset somewhere here. The idea being I should be rotating around this centre point at the moment. Okay, that's 0 and 0. Good, let's go across to here. Let's come off for alignment. Let's try it again. 0. And my intention is I'm going to try and get it so that area there is flat along there. And once I've done that, I can then use this jig to go up and down, working outwards to tighten up all the bolt points. I'm initially going to do it by hand, and then I'm going to use a torque wrench to torque up to the correct value. So I'm going to do that off camera because this could take me a while. Okay, so I've gone through, torqued everything up, and now just as a final sanity check, I've put a dial on there, and I can just run it up and down to stay at the same point. All the way along, and I see a maximum deflection of less than 0.01 of a millimetre. So I am very happy with that. So that's that, and that's that for that video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be with you again hopefully soon, where we'll start to look at putting the rails on the x-axis. So thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Please use the affiliate link if you want to buy anything from CNC3D, and I'll see you next time.